Let's start with a question no one asks anymore. Not in schools, not in politics, not even in most corners of modern philosophy. What does it mean to live well? That used to be the first question, the North Star of philosophy. It's how the ancient world navigated everything from politics and ethics to education and the shape of the soul. But somewhere along the way, we lost it. We replaced it with distraction, with spectacle, with endless consumption of content that teaches us nothing and changes even less. And buried under all that noise is a framework that used to guide entire civilizations. A framework rooted in clarity, purpose, and growth. Aristotle called it eudaimonia. And no, that doesn't just mean happiness. It means something more demanding, something more serious, something more real. Flourishing, not in some self-help sense, but as the actualization of your full human potential, the fulfillment of your nature, not someone else's ideal version of you, not a checklist of capitalist success, but your specific potential lived to its fullest. To get there, Aristotle starts at the ground level, first principles. He doesn't build from faith. He builds from observation. What is a human being? What makes us different from everything else? His answer is simple but devastating. We are the rational animal. That doesn't mean we're always rational. Clearly we're not. It means we're capable of reasoning, capable of understanding causes, exploring purposes, seeking knowledge for its own sake. So, if that's our nature, then our good, our flourishing, must be tied to using that nature well. Just like a knife flourishes when it cuts cleanly, a human flourishes when they think clearly, act ethically, and live with purpose. But that raises the next question. How the hell do we know what's good for us? This is where the modern world trips hard. We've built our culture on preferences, on consumption, on momentary desire. But Aristotle says that's not enough. Pleasure might be good, but it's not the highest good because it doesn't always align with our nature. You can want something and still be degrading yourself by chasing it. So instead of asking what feels good, we have to ask what fulfills us as rational social beings. That's why for him, ethics isn't just about avoiding harm, it's about cultivating virtue. And that word gets thrown around a lot, so let's strip it back. A virtue isn't a rule, it's not a commandment, it's a disposition. A stable pattern of behavior that reflects the best version of yourself in action. And you don't get there by being told what's right. You get there by doing what's right, by training, repeating, failing, adjusting. This is the core of Aristotelian thinking. Knowledge and action aren't separate. You don't become virtuous by reading about courage. You become courageous by choosing courage even when it's fucking hard. Especially when it's hard. And it's not about extremes. Aristotle teaches the doctrine of the mean, not mediocrity, but balance. Every virtue lives between two vices. Courage lives between cowardice and recklessness. Generosity between stinginess and waste. Wisdom between gullibility and cynicism. This framework is powerful because it's grounded. It doesn't need divine revelation or utopian blueprints. It only needs a clear-eyed view of what kind of being we are and what kind of actions align with that. That's why it's not some dusty relic of ancient Greece. It's a fucking compass. One we need more than ever. Because look around. We live in an age where spectacle has replaced substance, where likes and views are mistaken for excellence, where celebrity is confused with wisdom, and where attention is consumed like a drug, not cultivated like a virtue. And the result? People don't know who they are. They don't know what to value. They don't know what it means to live well. not in any serious examined way, and the systems we've built around them, from education to politics to social media, don't give a shit. Because those systems aren't designed to help you flourish. They're designed to keep you compliant, consuming, and distracted. That's why this rediscovery matters. Neo-Aristotelianism isn't just an intellectual exercise. It's a reclaiming of moral seriousness in an age of performative nonsense. It's a return to the question that underpins all the others. What kind of person am I becoming? And is that the kind of person I ought to become? Aristotle knew that a society isn't just made up of laws or markets, it's made up of people. And if those people aren't flourishing, if they aren't practicing virtue, if they aren't developing their minds and acting with reason, then the society will rot, no matter how advanced its tech or efficient its economy. The solution isn't surveillance, it's education. Not indoctrination, not training people to memorize facts and pass standardized tests. Education in the classical sense. Formation, helping people become fully themselves. Teaching them to reason, to speak with clarity, to spot bullshit, to live with intention. That's how you build free citizens. That's how you build anything worth a damn. So this isn't about going back to Aristotle. It's about taking what still holds and using it to move forward, because the core insight is true. Flourishing is not an accident. It is not a feeling. It is a life built through reason, choice, and action. We don't need new dogmas. We need old clarity. We need a way of thinking that cuts through the noise and says, you are not just a consumer. You are not just a follower. You are a rational being with the power to shape your life through virtue. Rediscovering that might not be easy, but it's necessary. Because without that compass, the West isn't just lost, it's adrift. And the spectacle, it only grows louder when the soul grows quiet. So let's get loud. Let's get clear. Let's begin again. Rediscover your compass and use it.